ever wanted to say something to someone and have them say something back? Welcome to Candid Conversations. Let's chat. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to shout out Driving Under Insanity for putting that intro together. We are here for episode 246 of Candid Conversations, and we have the lovely Laura Hamilton with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh man, we're excited to have you here. Oh man, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty beforehand, but that just means to me that this is going to be a really good show. I'm actually concerned if I don't have an issue before the show starts.
Exactly.
Telling you, it was like I got here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start everything up, and I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to come back. I come back, everything sounds robotic. I'm like, hold on, she doesn't sound like this. There's no way she sounds like. No, that sounds like some Decepticon business right here. This ain't. She's smiling all happy and stuff, and her voice isn't matching up with that right now. So it was on my side. I had to reset my sound card. But you know what I mean? It's the simplest things that could throw a wrench into what you're doing. It's perspective that helps keep you straight.
And then it makes you really appreciate the destination once you arrive.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of people are rushing to get to the end of the journey, and they're forgetting to enjoy the sights along the way. And I take my time wherever I'm going. Like if I'm walking through a store, first thing I'm looking for is clearance because that's the closest price to what I feel like spending.
I have the eagle eye for the 50% off. Those little I can feel it.
Where is it that uses? There's the one place that uses like pink stickers. I think it's like
yes.
the Loblaws brand.
Yes.
If I'm walking through the store, I see 50% off. 50%.
Although
off
I don't really see 50% off anymore.
No, not as often. Not as often.
Yeah, now it's only 30%. You don't see the 50% anymore.
At the Zales, at the Zales and all of those the higher chains like the Loblaws Superstore, they have the 30%. But at No Frills and things like that, they'll throw a 50% off here and there, and I'll grab that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. I'm lucky where I am in Toronto. I have access to actual local butchers. So really? I go. There's a butcher on Dundas West called El Tazo Nostro. It's Portuguese for our butcher, and they have the best meat deals, even beyond No Frills. Like you can get a full rack of ribs for less than $20, and I buy that quite often.
That's amazing. Yeah, whenever I see those ribs on special, scooped.
I'll send you the link. Are you in the Toronto area or are you in Ottawa?
My parents live in Toronto. I'm actually out in Niagara.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll send you the link so that you can send it to your parents because to me it's the best deal in town.
All right.
And the best wings too.
Can't go wrong with a good wing. Oh man, all this food's making me hungry. Oh my goodness. So what? There are things that lead people to hunger. Exercise and just burning regular energy off like that. But then there's other stimulants, we'll say.
Correct.
And we're here to talk about some of those. So I also, before we get into that, and don't draw the correlation, except for me to say the Village Global Network is servicing listeners in over 193 countries worldwide.
Wow.
Shout out to the Village Global Network for, keeping me on as a part of the administration, the executive liaison for the Eastern Hemisphere. Jeez, that's a big title. It's a big title. But sometimes, when you get up there, you just got to realize that humility will get you further than ego.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. So, as I humble myself, I could have sworn I saw a title in the email that I got about this podcast. It said something about Miss Cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a moniker, or is that like,
Oh, well, I used the podcast that I created called Love, Sass, and Grass to really help women who are an underserviced area of the cannabis space, and that is menopausal women. And
okay,
I went through menopause when we were in lockdown under COVID, and there was yeah, it was a nightmare because there was just so many things going on with me physically and mentally, and there wasn't a lot of resources for me to access because we were all locked in our apartments. And I had been taking cannabis education courses because I was reading about how cannabis can help women going through menopause for things like hot flashes, emotional stability because of where our brain chemistry and our fluctuating hormones are affecting you emotionally as well as physiologically, as well as for, dare I say, sexual performance reasons as well, because you start off with a mango and then all of a sudden you're a corn husk and you're like, what's happening here? What's happening? And that's how I arrived at trying to do a podcast to allow women to understand my journey that might help them. I'm not saying that I'm a doctor or that I have all the answers, but here's what helped me, and here's what I did in my own kitchen, and this is the results that happened.
okay,
And and part of that journey was infusing cannabis in olive oil and using it as a stimulant to certain sensitive areas of my body, as well as parts of my body that are like my lower back and my joints that were sore. And I was like, hey, not only am I revving my own engine, but I'm also feeling a bit more able to bend and be more flexible and do my yoga when I'm not suffering from joint pain as well. So there was a pain relief as well as a sexual stimulation that was happening. So that's why I was determined to get the word out there for women as like, here's what I've been doing. And I've been certainly talking about it with my doctor, and I talked about it with cannabis clinics here in Toronto, where I was able to say, okay, I'm doing this to my body and I'm getting positive results. Am I going to like end up in emergency rooms with some sort of horrible infection, or is everything okay what I'm doing? And
okay.
and nobody told me to stop. So if they didn't tell me to stop, then I'm like, okay. If they're
Well, there
not
you
telling
go.
me if they're not telling me no, I'm going to take that no as a yes.
Yeah, hundred
And the
percent.
only time you use that no for a yes.
Listen, oh man, this is an interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 246. We're here with Laura Hamilton, and we are talking cannabis and others. Oh, well, cannabis. We're talking cannabis. Let's go. Be sure to come back after this quick commercial break, right about here. All right, we're back, and I gotta document this commercial break time. And I need a new computer because the buttons are sticking, and it's not for any gross reason.
Ooh.
So it's just an
Speaking of
old computer.
sticky buttons, huh?
Sticky button. I opened the door for that one. But yeah, so this is interesting. like a lot of people are used to the idea of smoking cannabis more than they are the concepts of applying it to their body for stimulation. So, what what triggered that practice?
Well, when I was taking my cannabis education courses, they had mentioned within like the effects on the body. One of them was the pleasure center, and one of them was, at least for women, that pleasure center also stimulates other natural lubricants. Look, I made myself hoarse just thinking about it. Natural, their own production of lubrication. And one of the side effects of menopause is that sort of natural lubrication really just kind of dissipates, and people are experience pain during intercourse and any sort of penetrational activities. And that really made me go, okay, if this goes with this, maybe if I put these two things together, I can help myself. And I infused my cannabis with some olive oil. And I was reading about the chemical relationship between olive oil and cannabis. Like they lock together very well chemically. And not only does cannabis and olive oil lock together chemically very well, but also olive oil and human skin are very good friends. And um, my background is Italian and Irish. So I always had olive oil in the house. And when we were in lockdown, I had an abundance of olive
Okay.
oil and a significant portion of cannabis because we're all locked in. What are you going to do?
Right.
And I was in the kitchen going, what am I going to do with this? And I infused the cannabis oil with the olive oil and then decided, I think I'm going to put it on my body to see what happens because what else are you going to do? I mean,
Why not?
I could eat cookies or I could smear myself with olive oil and go, let's see what happens this afternoon. and
Let's hear it.
and basically it was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Is this happening to me? Am I imagining this? But I was like, you better come over here and sit beside me on the sofa right now because some things are happening. And I had a really satisfying sexual experience that I hadn't had in a while because things were painful and uncomfortable. But now I was like, um, revving the engine, so to speak, going, oh, we need to have a ride right now, and the ride is starring me. And that was basically the first kind of baby steps that I took to saying, oh my god, this really worked for me. I don't know if it's psychological, but physiologically that happened. And that's when I started basically a podcast going, hey ladies, this is what happened to me. It might not happen to you the same way, but it certainly happened to me. What's the worst that can happen? If you don't like it on your body, put it on some pasta. You're gonna have a lovely dinner.
Perspective. It's all about perspective. Oh,
Exactly.
oh.
Exactly.
I gotta take a second to let you know this episode of Candid Conversations is brought to you in part by Jacks of All Trades. Jacks of All Trades servicing Niagara and beyond. If you could name it, she could tame it. Bringing you services, including but not limited to landscaping and catering,
Mm.
among other things. Yeah, she's gonna be the one who's catering the event this Friday, June the 12th. We are opening up Levity again for the small stage shows, which will feature Johnny Armani and King JD, as well as Murs and Company. We are going to have some jerk chicken, some barbecue jerk chicken, not just jerk chicken. I have to bring out my smoker and soak out the wood, then put it on the fire so it can make a smoking at the chamber at the barbecue. You see how my accent just changed? You see how I just get into it. So we're gonna have some performances and we're gonna have some good food and it's gonna be a real thing, man. It's gonna be a real thing. So it's
And
time to take that.
anytime you want to send me an invite for that.
I mean, like if I'm telling you, it's basically as good as inviting you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're out here in Welland. You know what I mean? Just 15 minutes outside of Niagara Falls. It's a quiet town, but there's some interesting folk out here. Some interesting folk out here. So just a matter of, you know, what's what. All right. So Candid Conversations, episode 246. When I started this show, I didn't have credits. I didn't have a open. I didn't have an intro. I didn't have like this logo at the top right there. I didn't have that logo right there.
Mm,
You know what I mean? The things change, things evolve. Like I even made that right there. That logo on there.
very nice.
That was the first thing I did with excuse me, with AI. I appreciate
Bravo,
it.
bravo.
Thank you. So now here's a question. And we got like about a minute and a half. How do you think artificial intelligence has affected the consumption and creation of cannabis?
Well, I think that there's so many extreme opinions about AI, and I look at AI as a tool, not an authority. And
Ah,
to me, AI is a tool, and that's all we should really consider it until things evolve with our society to catch up to how we apply this tool to our everyday life. I don't think that it's either the cause of all of our problems or the solution to all of our problems. So, as I said, it's just a tool, and I think that certainly there are issues when it comes to intellectual property rights. And what sort of copywriting that needs to happen legislatively, specifically when it comes to, for example, logos or chemical, not recipes, but the chemical profile of, say, your strain of cannabis that you have been developing.
mm,
How do we protect that? And that has to come from a legislation as opposed to the computer program that you're utilizing.
okay, all right. Well, I want y'all to take that in mind if you're making your own strains out there. But we will be right back. All right, we are back. 1803 is the time of the last break, and we're going to continue. So, um, I was gonna say, what's your favorite thing to do while under the influence of a good strain of marijuana?
Have company over.
Ah, very diplomatic. Ah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, no, I can relate. I can relate. Oh man,
And whether that whether that company is like eating my food or other activities, to me it's best consumed in company.
yeah, definitely, definitely. We actually created something as a byproduct of the consumption. We had was it 2 years ago? No, last year. It was WrestleMania, Easter, and 420 on the same weekend.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So, and
Okay.
I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a big 420 fan, and like I like food, and Easter is a holiday. You cook food on holidays, so I'm in. so,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
um, my wife's son puts on this Rasta hat that I have because
Oh, nice.
I do this show called Conflicts of a Jamaican Canadian Conscience, right? And then he puts on bunny ears. So I'm looking at him, and like he's looking at me with this grin on his face, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, so what? Who you think you are, Rasta Rabbit? And
Ah,
and then when I say the man said no, but I had to laugh. It was funny because we ended up blocking off the living room, put a mattress in front of the door, blocked up the doorway so none of the smoke got out, and we hotboxed the living room for 3 hours.
wow.
And
Wow.
we came up with concept after creation after character, and we just laid it all out. And over the course of the last year, with some help, I've been structuring the comic and getting the images and everything. And we just released the Adventures of Rasta Rabbit on 420 of this year.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now
Nice.
y'all might see something change here. I don't even know. Wait, I want to see if I can add this here, because it is one of the like. And again, I used a little bit of help to get it done, to get the video done. But I definitely think definitely think this is something interesting that is going to make waves. There we go. Here you are. I found you. Open. Upload. Okay, it's uploading right now.
Okay.
So it's just one of those things where where you kind of crack a joke and then it's just like, wait, that sounds serious. Yeah, that's where we're at on that. Come on, upload.
This kind of like a lightning strike of inspiration because, like, of course.
Yep, yep, definitely how it happens. There we go. All right, so if you will, this is the intro to Rasta Rabbit. We only have a comic strip right now, but we have a few little graphic videos that we could put that we've stitched together. So
hear the story
Nice.
of an unlikely hero. Some people thought him a zero, but he turned out to be regal. His name is Rasta Rabbit. He could fly through the sky or burrow underground. His left and right are like enemies thunder sound. His name is Rasta Rabbit. He fights crime all the time, and that's just his tip habit. Call him Rasta Rabbit.
I
yeah.
love it. I love the
Oh my
detective
goodness.
sandwich too because it's like, yeah, that's right.
Yo, honestly, Detective Sandwich came like the story of Detective Sandwich is so funny. I was talking to Jax, my wife, and she was in the kitchen and I was on my way up the stairs or something. And I said something to her. She said, "What?" And I repeated myself and she said, "Detective Sandwich, what the hell is that?" And I'm like, "Detective Sandwich? Hold on a second." Wrote it down as another character. Oh,
Exactly.
oh my gosh. Oh, this has been some great fun. And like over the our second issue is just about to be released sometime this month. I might I'm trying to stick with the 20th of the month because it's just significant. But yeah, so and with that,
Congratulations. That looks
thank
really fun. That looks really amazing.
it's
Congratulations.
some of the most fun I've had in a little while. Like outside of working for Haunt Manor and the everyday randomness that is my cartoon life, like it's some of the most fun I've had in a while. And like I've dressed up and gone to Caravana as Batman. So
Well,
Yeah.
I've actually proudly done the Caravana parade from start to finish
Nice.
in a little feather outfit, and
Okay.
I have to say, I've never been so tired. Like never, never, never been so tired in my life. But I loved it. I was always trying to find shade because like I'm white, okay? I'm like fish belly white,
Fish
and
belly white. I've never heard that before. Oh my god.
yeah. Well, I'm studying Italian, so this is how I describe myself in Italian. It's like sono come un culo de pesce. I'm like the white as a fish's ass.
Oh my god. If my wife heard any of this, she would be laughing with you. Oh my. She and the thing is, she's Italian and Irish too, but she has like she's dark hair. Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
what's that like? Black Irish. Oh yeah,
No,
okay,
I mean, like,
okay.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, my life is a cartoon. Some days it's a cartoon, some days it's a sitcom. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, my grandfather was always saying, "Oh yeah, we're Black Irish." Oh really? Oh really? Where?
So
Where's that?
what side is the Irish? Your mom or your dad?
It was my mom's side.
Your mom's, well, her mom's Italian, her dad's Irish. So
That's
it's kind
right.
of like it's the opposite.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that all came from Kensington Market. So
Okay.
because if you know the history of Toronto, um, back in the 20s and 30s, the only place in Toronto you could live as a new immigrant was in Kensington Market, specifically if you weren't of a Anglo Protestant background.
Oh,
So yeah, like you couldn't be Italian and Catholic and live in Rosedale. Let's put it that way. You could
oh,
live in Kensington Market. Okay, immigrants, you could live there. So my cultural background is Italian and Irish on my mother's side, and my father's side is German and Dutch
okay.
because they were escaping the wars as well,
Yeah.
and they lived beside each other, and that's how my parents met. So
Ah,
yeah, so I'm a tall redhead who can drink copious amounts of alcohol and cook great food. What a catch I am.
totally, totally. With a sense of humor to boot. Tell y'all.
So I'm just putting it out there, boys.
Hey. So, how do they get a hold of you for your podcast or other things?
Mm.
Uh,
My podcast again is called Love Sauce and Grass. I haven't made an episode in a while because I've been kind of pivoting my career. So I've kind of had to put doing new episodes kind of to the side for the moment. But you've definitely inspired me to crack that open again, and so they can
excellent.
find me there. I'm on all of the podcast locations everywhere. And including Spotify. So
Okay.
I'm around. They can get in touch with me.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. And we will be right back. This commercial break is brought to you by Culture Shock Magazine, the zine for those unseen in the scene. Boom. All right. So this is possibly my most favorite part of the show because no one ever expects it. And I know that's exactly where I'm going to go. So this is where I flip the script. And when I flip the script, I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and say whatever make whatever statements they have, or ask any questions that may have come up. So, Laura, you have the floor as we flip the script.
Wow. Thank you very much for allowing me to ask you some questions.
No
First of
problem.
all, I love the idea of your small studio space, and I love that. Where can I watch your episodes from that small studio space?
If you go to OpenStream TV on your Roku channel and look up small stage shows, you will be able to find the first episode, and we are going to be making the submission of the second episode shortly. You can also find episodes of Candid Conversations on OpenStream.tv or OpenStream TV on the Roku channels, or on the Roku TV. So yeah, and then after they release the second issue, then I'm going to put the first issue on my YouTube channel,
Hmm.
which is
Interesting.
Expose the North 8741. That's Expose the North 8741 on YouTube.
Okay, I'm just gonna type that up soon. And well, you'll if you could flip me that address, I'm gonna be like putting it up there after this call, and definitely watching you this afternoon. That sounds really
Yeah,
amazing, really amazing.
but
Okay, well, let me ask, since we were talking about menopause with
yeah,
me, and I want to flip the script for
yeah,
you and ask you the
okay,
question. Okay, as a man
yeah.
who is not a young man, but and you're married, so you're living with a woman. Has your wife gone through menopause, or is she going through perimenopause, or is she going through
I,
any of those situations?
oh, she's it is she is currently going through. I believe it's the early stages,
Mm-hmm.
and it is like for her, she is at the point where she just wants the heat to just chill. She could. I have the air conditioner on 17 in the room, and she's still hot. So, yeah, like it's something because like she can go from like her hands being almost ice cold to like damn near burning me if she touches me with it. And it's like
Yeah,
how do you have so many different zones of temperature that aren't like what can I do to help you? And please don't rip my head off. But like,
that's exactly what I wanted to hear a man say is how can I help?
yeah,
Because I feel like when you are living with somebody who is going through this and you have absolutely no concept of it from a biological point of view at all. This is not your lived experience. How can you help? Is exactly what the answer I wanted to hear from a man, because there are just so many things that you have, like you experience. I have stood out on my balcony, okay, and it was -20 out, -20. And I stood on my balcony to the thrill of all of my neighbors in basically my bathing suit. And I had steam coming off my body because I was so hot. I couldn't take it. And it was like, let's hope that the wind chill is going to cool me down. And I could see it. I could see the
wow,
steam coming off me, and I wanted to just pack my body with the snow because I was so hot. I couldn't take it.
yeah,
And that sort of fluctuation of temperature, until you've actually seen a hot flash as a man, you're like, you wouldn't even believe it's possible that the human body does that.
listen,
So,
I have lived at the peak of my and like I have sisters, so I say this with as much love as I can afford. At the peak of my trying situation, I lived with 5 women at one time. It was my no, it wasn't like that though. It was my daughter, my wife, her mother, my sister, and my niece.
uh huh, uh huh.
And when I tell you that there was one time where it was week after week after week after week after week that made me weak, and I said I'm not gonna speak.
All you do is you walk into a room with chocolate ice cream and some cookies,
She's
and
lactose
just
intolerant
like,
and doesn't like cookies. I have to find meat and cheese.
oh, okay, okay. You know, if that's the flavor profile, you just walk in with the food and then leave quietly, right? And just like don't say anything. And yeah, like living with 5 women, yeah, I can imagine you should have a little I survived pin.
Right? At least that, because like there's people who are acting like that is not a feat. No, 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 no. For for there to be peace maintained through the whole time, minus a couple of hiccups, I think I did pretty good to stay the hell out the way.
That's exactly it. Exactly it. And if I can just say, like, if we can, just talk about the intimate side of this.
Yeah,
There's a real deficit between man's pleasure and how often he experiences pleasure, and the women's side and how often she experiences pleasure, and the time difference between those two things. And that can be a real block, shall we say,
yeah.
and the emotional side and the intimate side. I mean, I love the meat and cheese. I already know that I love your family already, because it's like, meat and cheese, nice. I'll bring over some prosciutto. We'll all have a
Oh,
good
you said
time.
it right there. You said the magic word right there.
Yeah. And I know where to get some really good and cheap. Kensington Market, Global Cheese has the best price.
Okay, okay. That is what's up. We are
Yeah.
going to come right back from this commercial break with our last segment. We are here with the lovely Laura Hamilton. I mean, I'm enjoying this conversation. I hope you guys are too. We'll be right back. 35, 40, 35, 45. Okay. All right.
Sounds like
So,
my
yeah.
dating range.
Yo, this woman is too real. She is too real. Oh my goodness. But that's what's up, man. Hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like
Mm.
I've thought about doing a game show. I've thought about doing like I like to connect people. You know what I mean? I like to put people with the right person and say like not quite a matchmaker, but like I've connected artists with producers. I've connected, you know what I mean, like people with the people they need to complete their projects and stuff like that. So, there's no harm in putting it out there. No harm whatsoever. I gotta figure out now what we are going to do for this last segment, and I think we should do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to think of a few questions, and then I'm going to ask you for the first answer that comes to your head.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Favorite food?
What's on my plate?
All right. Favorite outdoor activity?
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to say floating in water, with a flotation device, drink in
Okay.
one hand, something that is flammable in these two fingers, and floating
Yeah.
like this.
Nice. Nice. That's what's up. That is what's up. Okay. If you could go anywhere in the world, it would be
The south of Italy, Calabria, where my grandmother's
that's
from.
that's where my wife's family's from. We might be related.
Well, I have to tell you, about 15 years ago, my sister and I pooled our money together and bought a house in Calabria together. So
Nice.
we have a little house there, as my retirement plan, because fuck Florida. Sorry,
Right?
I didn't mean to swear.
It's okay. We got through it as clean as we could.
So yeah, Calabria is, I know it has a horrible reputation in Italy. If you talk to anybody who's Italian and they go, oh, Calabria, oh, there's a mafia there. Well, whatever. I'm a Canadian woman of a certain age. I'm not importing coke or hookers, so the mafia is not interested in me. So and the food there and the people there are just so amazing. The beaches are amazing. The water is clear to the bottom. And it is just such a wonderful place that is really overlooked in any sort of tourist guide or anything like that. And I love Calabria. That will be my first destination after Barbados. Okay, so Calabria, then Barbados. There
Okay.
you go.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, if you're not using it actively, you should think about making it a Airbnb.
We would. but unfortunately, it's very the house condition, like the wiring, we
Yeah.
haven't upgraded because it's quite
Okay.
expensive to do, and there's just like really random electrical outlets everywhere, and I'm just terrified that someone's gonna like touch something and then it's a lawsuit. So
Okay.
that's the only reason I haven't we haven't put it on any sort of Airbnb, because it's out in an amazing location. So if you want to set me up with some people who might be angel investors who would like to help me develop the property, I'm in. I'm
Hey,
in.
hey, listen. If you have the time and the patience, we can work something out. Because we can work something out. I know, like I said, enough people that someone might be interested in doing this. Plus, it's like, yeah, my mother-in-law is from Calabria, or Calabre.
That's this is Calabrese. So amazing, amazing, amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. I
yeah,
will make sure you send me. We can connect on online, and I'll send you some pictures of the property because you'll understand why we bought it, because it is fabulous. We have 12 acres, 400 olive trees, fruit trees, view of a castle, 10 minutes to the beach.
that's beautiful. Yeah, if there's a way to put something into it to get to deal with that wiring issue, then yeah. So we'll.
Yeah, it's so incredibly expensive, unfortunately, to do that sort of renovation that it's, oh, is that,
Yep, that's it.
okay, is that your contact stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna save that. I'm saving that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm totally gonna send you pictures.
All right.
Totally gonna send you pictures.
Cool. And that's
Okay,
my
any
email.
other? Okay, perfect.
Any other questions?
Perfect.
Okay. Favorite fragrance, fruity or floral?
My favorite is the smell of coconut. I don't
Coconut.
know
Okay.
if you count that as a fruit.
I
I
I would.
can't stand. Ugh, I cannot stand
Okay.
floral. It grosses.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go. There we go. All right. Yeah. No. I I don't even know. I like the smell of my Cuba. It has like a musky smell. But then Jax bought me
Oh,
this
okay. Yep.
Versace right here, Dylan Blue.
Oh, nice. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It's
Well, this is my. Speaking of fragrances, I might as well plug these people because they're local producers. If you've
nice.
ever heard of Black Wellness,
Okay.
they have something called a coconut rum body oil.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. I love the smell of it, and I put it all over.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Okay.
And I'm not being paid by them, but they're local producers. It's called Black Wellness,
All right.
and I love their products because I like smell. I want to smell like the beach. Like I want to smell like coconuts and
Mm.
summertime. Like like suntan lotion. Even though mine's like 60.
Oh man, that's great. You know what? I want to invite you to write an article for the Culture Shock magazine. We're getting close
Okay.
to the end of the show here, but stay with me when we go so we can continue that conversation. Um, yeah, it's been a great time. I like sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with the artist. It's just whenever I have to do one of these shows, I have to get my mind right to sit in one spot for 45 minutes. And then when it's good, I don't even realize I've been in one spot for 45 minutes. So I want to commend you for being such an entertaining personality. I'm willing to do we can do like a seminar or something here. You know what I mean? Teach people
Sure.
what they need to know to deal with their partners and certain aspects of life that happen. Um, I gotta get my wife down here so I can see if there's any correlation between you and her because y'all neighborhoods are like right there. So I wanna thank you for coming out and let you know that on behalf of Laura Hamilton, this is the block saying bless up. We out.